You're a home buyer, somebody or a young person looking to buy a home, you need a bit of a reset.
There is a possibility on the other side of this that inflation could actually be quite low.
Landlords in Dallas are absolutely screwed right now because there are many huge apartment complexes just like the one that you can see behind me that are being actively built, flooding the market with more and more inventory. And obviously, guys, and I'm telling you, these are everywhere. I didn't even have enough time to pull over to stop to capture this. This is a massive unit right now. And again, you guys, here's the thing, and here's why landlords are so screwed in the Dallas housing market. Most landlords cannot even come close to offering the type of incentives that these massive builders like you can see behind me are able to offer, especially when we consider how many STRs or Airbnbs are starting to convert to long-term rentals. Not only are landlords having to deal with this STR bans, they have to deal with an overwhelming amount of new construction for apartments. I mean, seriously, in the front end of a recession, with unemployment picking up, builders are still building mega apartment complexes in the middle of nowhere just like this. Back to the studio, back to give you guys the data on exactly how many units are in Dallas as far as the rental market, and then also to talk to you guys about how much rents have actually already declined in Dallas. And this is before a lot of boots have even fallen. One more time for driving all the way to Dallas and back, and that's an 8-hour drive roughly. Like this video, subscribe if you haven't already, hit notifications. But either way, I hope you guys get overwhelming value. I want to show you guys is the amount of competition in Dallas. Now, I'm not going to go into Fort Worth, just Dallas. Now, I went to apartments.com, so we're only looking at apartments. And right now, you guys can see right here that there is an astonishing, and this number is a lot bigger than I thought personally it would be, 32,000 apartments for rent. So if I'm a tenant in Dallas, I'm shopping and I'm going to be aggressive and I'm going to try to get my rent down. But you guys, again, if you're a landlord in Dallas, you got over 32,000 rentals that are available right now. I mean, look at it, especially downtown, massive clusters. When we go to Zillow and look, we can see that there is approximately 2,072 homes that are up for rent. And again, there's a little bit of apartments in here. You can see that, but primarily this is townhouses, condos, and SFRs. So again, another area of massive competition for landlords, which eventually translate into better deals for tenants. We actually already see that in the data. Now, this is a market summary from Zillow. Obviously, Zillow doesn't always get things right, but the median rent right now in Dallas is $1,900 a month. I want to point out that that is down year over year already, $140. And most of the time in history, rents do not go down. So this is a phenomena happening right now. And the question that people should be asking is, why is this happening? Now you can see, again, looking at this chart, last year, this time rent was $2,049. So you could see that, what is this, that lighter blue line? See how much higher that is? And you can see this darker blue line. I mean, the trajectory has been going down for rents in Dallas since August of 2023. Well, really since it peaked last year at $2,095. So it peaked last year in September of 2022. This is absolutely great news, again, for tenants, really bad news if you're a landlord. We can really see the rent decline here. This is rent.com. You can see studios, that's up 4% year over year, but one bedrooms are down year over year, 5%. Two bedrooms are down year over year, 4%. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, those numbers are just going to get worse as inventory continues to go up. And again, if you're a landlord there, understand you have so much competition, and they're not just junk apartments. Some of this stuff are luxury apartments. Let me show you. I'm in another luxury apartment complex, brand new, still building it. I'm in this section where it's actually completed, but I wanted to show you guys, I mean, if you're a landlord, how do you compete with this? There's really, the only way you even can compete is by lowering your price and doing insane incentives. I mean, these are luxury apartments, whole brand new community, you know, huge place. To be honest with you, I really wish I had more time in this area because I can see multiple other apartment complexes in the distance. The amount of inventory right now, the new construction for apartments, I mean, it's unprecedented. I mean, we've never seen anything like this. Once this all starts to hit, and it'll probably hit over the next 1 year, you guys, this is gonna put so much pressure on prices of rentals to go down. It's gonna be unbelievable. It's gonna be like nothing you've ever seen, like nothing we've ever experienced before. Apartment complexes just like this, luxury apartment complexes, they're a dime a dozen. Now let's take a look at what is to come. So what's going to happen next? And I want to point out that there has never been as much new construction right now for apartments than in the history of the United States. You guys, they're throwing up so much inventory in the rental market. It's only got one place to go, which is down, meltdown territory. I'm telling you, Dallas is going to be one of the epicenters of the rental market crisis, and I'll explain at the end why. But take a look at how much inventory is not yet in the market. I've showed you so much inventory already, but understand there is a lot more coming right now. We can see this clearly when we access Fred economic data charts. When we review new privately owned housing units that are under construction, and this is buildings with 5 units or more. So it's not SFRs or condos or townhouses. This is actually apartments. Now this chart goes all the way back to the early 1970s. So January of 1970. And you can see it did peak. The last time we had inventory this high was actually July of 1973. The only thing is in 1973, rents didn't explode, right? And we have even more inventory right now. We have never had as much homes being built. And it peaked in August. You can see here, August 2023. 1 million units under construction. And this stuff is underreported. Okay, so there's more than what's being reported, but we're sitting at 988,000 units that are going to be coming to the market probably within the next year and a half. Y'all could see that behind me. I mean, this is absolutely huge, and I don't want to go in there. There's a fence all the way around. In order for me to get inside there, I have to go all the way around and then inside, but I barely have enough time. I still got about 10 more miles to go, about 2 hours of sunlight. But look at that, guys. I mean, this is a nice little mega apartment strip, probably a couple hundred units. These things right here are all over the place around Dallas, around Fort Worth, and it's just not stopping. Unbelievable, guys. Absolutely unbelievable. Still under construction. Man, that is so much inventory right there. I mean, how many units do you guys think this is? Hundreds of units, right? Not even finished yet. I mean, you guys, I could do this all day long. Look at this. It looks like over here. So it looks like they have started selling this back section over here. Y'all see that? So they got that section leased out. But what I've just flew over is definitely not leased out yet. Pretty wild, you guys, how much construction is going on with apartments. And look at across the street. You still got all that housing across the street that they still have to build and sell. Really, really, really amazing, guys. So much inventory. Pretty shocking, actually. Now, before I get to the conclusion, let me show you guys some additional stats on the Airbnb meltdown that's happening right now in Dallas. Dallas approves new rules banning short-term rentals in single-family neighborhoods. Now that is humongous news if you're an Airbnb owner in Dallas, because these essentially have banned all Airbnbs. I mean, most of the Airbnbs, almost, I would say high 90%, are actually located in residential neighborhoods. Now, enforcement was set to start in January of 2024. However, that can has been kicked down the road just a little bit. Judge blocks Dallas from enforcing its short-term rental ordinance for now. A Dallas County judge has temporarily blocked the city from enforcing its new short-term rental ordinance in the city council. Now they're doing the same thing that they did in Vegas and New York. Airbnb is just temporarily kicking the can down the road. In other words, what I'm saying is eventually they're going to start enforcement. And if you own an Airbnb right now in Dallas, I would seriously consider either selling your house or seeing if you can cash flow by converting it into a long-term rental, because the ban and the enforcement, specifically the enforcement's important, is coming. There's really no doubt about that. Take a look at this map. This map is showing us how many Airbnb listings there are in Dallas. I mean, y'all, you know, I'm on the side of the coin where it's just completely ridiculous. I understand we don't want necessarily government oversight, and it's people's property and they should be able to do most anything, but don't disturb the peace. Don't put a resort in next to it in a residential neighborhood next to me. I mean, look at it. It's so outrageous. And when you look, guys, at the inventory, again, this is short-term rentals. This isn't even in the long-term rental market. So not only are the long-term rent landlords doomed, but also the short-term landlords are even more doomed. Now, roughly, guys, there's 10,000 active units. So again, throw that on top of everything that I just went over with you. So you look at the 10,000 units, and we scroll down here, 89% of those units are the entire house. So we have a massive amount of inventory that's also going to come from Airbnb. Now the question is what does the eviction market look like in Dallas? This is actually under pre-COVID, probably a result of the rents going down. But in Dallas, there's an 8% eviction filing rate. Now, honestly, that's a little bit high, but for the area, it's low. Now, there's a whopping 23% serial filing rate, which basically means the same tenant keeps getting evicted. But nevertheless, you guys, the eviction filings are fairly high, even though they're under pre-COVID averages. In conclusion, I probably wouldn't suggest most people go purchase a house in Dallas to turn into a rental. And the interesting thing is Dallas is an area that I can actually find new construction that cash flows. The only problem is that market is overly saturated with rental inventory, and it's going to explode as we go into 2024 and in 2025 as the enforcement for Airbnb starts and more of those apartment buildings come to the market. Now, what does that mean? If you're a tenant in Dallas, this probably means that there is relief on the way in the form of lowered rents and incentives to start renting from a specific landlord. Now, if you're a landlord, what all of this means is you may want to sell, you may want to pack up, and you may want to leave that housing market. Now, obviously, that's a general statement. You need to use the data, check the area, but overall, there is a catastrophe forming in Dallas. It's probably going to be one of the epicenters of the rental market meltdown, probably right behind Vegas. I think Vegas is going to be number one. And honestly, guys, I think Dallas is going to be number two. I hope you guys got some new insights, value, and perspective. And if you're out there investing in real estate, you know I wish you luck, and I hope you win.